be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Peter approached Jesus and asked him, "Lord, if my brother sins against me, how often must I forgive him? As many as 7 times?" Jesus answered, "I say to you, not 7 times, but 77 times. That is why the kingdom of heaven may be likened to a king who decided to settle accounts with his servant. When he began the accounting, debtor was brought before him who owed him a huge amount. Since he had no way of paying it back, his master ordered him to be sold, along with his wife, his children, and all his property, in payment of the debt. At that, the servant fell down, did him homage, and said, 'Be patient with me, and I will pay you back in full.' Moved with compassion, the master of that servant let him go and forgave him the loan. When the servant had left, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him a much smaller amount. He seized him and started to choke him, demanding, 'Pay back what you owe.' Falling to his knees, his fellow servant begged him, 'Be patient with me, and I will pay you back.' But he refused. Instead, he had him put in prison until he paid back the debt. Now, when his fellow servants saw what had happened, they were deeply disturbed and went to their master and reported the whole affair. His master summoned him and said to him, 'You wicked servant, I forgave you your entire debt because you begged me to. Should you not have had pity on your fellow servant as I had pity on you?' Then, in anger, his master handed him over to the torturers until he should pay back the whole debt. So will my heavenly Father do to you, unless each of you forgive your brother from your heart." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Good morning. Today, with the first reading, we have one of the movements of taking care for the others, and it is related in the book of Daniel to the prophet Azariah. They are having bad times. Basically, they don't have a temple, they don't have incense, they don't have animals to offer, they don't have a place to pray. They are the smallest of all the countries in that time. So they are basically in problems, and they are having that condition kind of an impairment because of the conditions of the previous fathers of them. They were not listening to God, so God admitted that kind of a situation for them. So what happens? Azariah, in that first reading, is moving a way of talking to God by intercession. He is basically presenting the conditions of the others. Azariah, as a prophet, he was already okay because the country, they were taking care of the prophet in many ways. We have this, they are sharing with him. So he's kind of in good shape. But he doesn't pay attention to himself. Instead of that, he takes the condition of the people of Israel to himself. And he constructs that prayer that it is very famous actually because it is also part of the liturgy of the hours. When you pray the liturgy, it also includes these kind of intercessions. Remember, Lord, now we are the smallest of all the people. We don't have a temple. We don't have all these conditions, but your mercy, it is great for all of us. Please, in the name of, and he remembered even the Savior, the servants of the Lord. So it is a complete intercession, but in the background of that, maybe we could take one thing out of that reading, and it is he's paying attention to others. He's taking care of his brothers. He's paying attention of his people. Moving to the New Testament, we could see also, for example, the first miracle of Jesus. It is because a woman is paying attention to the brothers and sisters. Mary, in the middle of that wedding, she realizes that they don't have wine. So she starts doing intercession. Son, they don't have wine. Woman, it is not my time. Do whatever he tells you. It is again an intercession, what is happening here. So maybe that first reading could also do a little example or maybe a recall for ourselves. How much do I care for others? I come to daily Mass, I pray the Our Father, and I put a condition on myself. I say to God, forgive my sins as I forgive the sins of others, the accusations, the trespasses. I even put in a condition. So what is the background of that? It is God expecting for us to exercise love. To exercise love, because that is the main purpose of this life. That we will learn, if God is love and we are descendants of him, we belong to his family, it is a call for us also to go and practice that. And the practice of that, it is better when the other doesn't deserve to be loved. Because in the world you will find people that you don't like. You will find people that they don't like you. And in that moment, it has more value. The capacity to deny myself and to go do something different. Even the Lord has a gospel telling that. What is the merit to love? The one that already loves you. The Pharisees are doing that already. So what's the difference? Instead of that, if I'm able to go and love the one that according to my standards doesn't deserve my care and my love, I'm marking a change in the world, something different. The gospel, it is once again what we just said, what we just talked. So a man, he owes a huge amount. He's going to be sold, to be a slave the rest of his life with the wife, the kids, the property. So he pays the huge amount, right? He pleads, he does homage, please be patient. And the master not only gives time, the gospel says, I forgave your entire debt. He forgets the entire debt. So not only he is forgiven, so now he's free. He doesn't have to pay $1 back of that huge amount. So if you see, the master is loving the servant. Now, what is he expecting? That's like the condition of God loving us. Now, what does he expect from us? The same that he was expecting from that servant. But what is the mistake in that parable? The other person, he owes small. But he goes, he choke, he takes to the jail until he pays all. What is the consequence of that? I don't forgive the other. I don't love the other. I'm going to finish paying my entire debt. So, shall we take the gospel, or should we take the gospel like a warning? I consider that yes, because life is very fast. Do you remember when you were a little kid? Huh? That seems like yesterday. And now check us. Huh? I remember my curly hair. It was so wonderful, right? And check it out. Gone. Life is like a snap. Huh? So we need to profit to do the goodness so we get back to God in good shape.